Welcome to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings, with me, Greta Chamberlain, and the Realm of Beings. Shifting Impressions, which is one of the vehicles that supports the transmission of the Realm of Beings, is here to assist you in delving into your being by providing numerous topics and discussions for you to intake as you deepen your connection with your inner world. Shifting Impressions is here to assist you in strengthening yourself as you excavate to understand your true nature. Join us today and learn to shift your mindset, shift your thoughts, and shift your focus to recreate your life and produce a new you. Shifting Impressions starts now.
Good day. We are live from LA at the Conscious Life Expo at the LAX Hilton. I want to welcome each and every one of you. If you're not here, please stop on down. You will meet Greta and myself, and you might also be able to attend another, backed by popular demand, workshop Greta's giving called Death by Design. It's a real killer. I think you'll enjoy it. And, you will get out alive. I'll assure you that you're definitely going to leave alive. So we are so happy to have everyone join us today. And I am living and live in color. My name is Kathy Lee, the original. And of course, I'm here with GC, also known as Greta Chamberlain.
Thank you, Kathy.
We bring a quote every day that was channeled by the realm from Greta to Greta. And Greta has passed it on to me. And the quote for today is, "There is a presence of many. Look beyond your existence of this earth to see and be accepting of self and the others. All are one." Well, Greta?
Well, we have a wonderful guest that's coming, and let's see his book, Kathy.
Well, okay, here you go. Sure.
Making Contact. He'll be with us in about 15 minutes. And we're going to be giving this book. We have a few people here, and who's here is going to get a copy of this. You know, it's a wonderful book that Alan has written. It has a lot of articles in it written by various people. J.J. Hurtak, if you're familiar with him. Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar, has an article in there. So it's going to be really good. He's going to be here in about 15 minutes. But in the meantime, I think we're going to get into this quote. The title of the podcast today is "In the Presence of Others." So the quote that the realm gave us, as Kathy read it to you, that there's a presence of many. And Kathy and I together have had a lot of experiences working with individuals that are not of a humanoid nature. So we're going to be sharing some of that with you and sharing Alan's experiences as well, because at one time he was abducted by some other individuals. He's had that experience. So I think he's going to share that experience with us again today. He has also been on our show twice now. In the month of July of last year, he visited with us, and he was quite popular. So we think that you guys are going to really enjoy him again. But this quote is really important. I felt Kathy move, so I know she's ready to say something. But it says, "Look beyond your existence and of this earth to see." Now, how do you do that? How do you look beyond where we are now to see? Okay, Kathy, raise your hand.
Okay, I raised my hand. I could tell you how I found that I was doing that. When the realm said that I was like an untied balloon, just flipping all over the universe, making stops on different planets, and being amazed and just going, "Oh my, how do I get back home?" So I guess that's kind of like how my first experience. I didn't know what was going on or what was happening to me. I just knew that First of all, I really wasn't even sure it was even real, to be quite honest with you. It was like, am I dreaming or not dreaming?
Hmm.
But looking beyond your existence of this earth to see and be accepting of self and others, it takes a long time. If we can't accept ourselves, how can we accept others? We can't even accept others on this planet that are human like us. And yet we're looking for others that aren't human. And so, how accepting are we going to be? So, those are some of the things that I wonder about. How, according to Alan's book, Making Contact, what happens to people, or what do you think their reactions are going to be when everyone is making contact? Just throwing that out there, Greta.
Well, I was just last week, I looked at what they called a horror movie. I don't usually look at horror movies, but I wanted to see it because they were showing the horror was supposed to be that the people had to fly to this ship, and on the ship uh, were quite a few individuals who were different from them. And so the idea was, how do you escape? And that these were very menacing. So sometimes the extraterrestrials, which is a word I don't really like too much, but are always portrayed as being low vibrational beings, um, that are can be very hurtful to people. So we have a tendency now to bring our thoughts of humanism that we have on this planet, and we're taking it out to interact with, uh, to classify, maybe classify and put others in a very hurtful or distasteful position.
They just project who they are onto other species, really, technically.
It's
Wouldn't you say
it's
that?
I would say that because if how you see yourself is, and we've always said this in the podcast, that how you see yourself is what you project on others. So that when you say something negative to somebody else about what is happening to them or how you see them, that has to be inside of you first for you to have the perception. You know, so it's always, the realm is always telling us to kind of stay without being judgmental about people, or if we're extending it, because see, Kathy, this quote takes us off of Earth, and it's challenging just for us to deal with individuals here on Earth, you know. And sometimes, because of your experiences and mine, we think that we have to wait for the flying saucers uh, to come and land, so that we can see them. But in actuality, when you can see, you'd be surprised what you can see because they're here.
Right. And you know what? What just looked like that in my head was a conversation I had with another individual. I don't know if it was yesterday
Mm,
or this morning. The movie Predator. Um, they
yeah.
camouflage themselves. And like when you turn your head a certain way, which is what happened to me, and I'm saying, I don't think I'm really seeing that. And I said, and I looked up, I said, oh, it's kind of a very tall individual. But it's
Hmm.
almost like when they want you to see them, you can see them. But it's like when I saw the Earthbound in my house, an 18th century Quaker, I mean,
You need,
coming up through the floor, it was like very interesting, Greta. But it's almost like Predator. It's like when you turn your head a certain way, I could see these these individuals in my home. And but that was how my experience was. And so there are people, they're all around us. There could be somebody in this room right now. You know, I don't know who you are.
mm.
You look a little, I don't know. I'm looking at you.
But
So,
we're in a podcast room right now, and that's what we have an audience with us. some wonderful people have come to join us in this podcast today. So that's what Kathy is alluding to. I want to share a story when I was 10 years old. And
When was that?
be quiet, Kat.
Okay.
Uh, when was that? I love this woman. And I saw this earthbound. Now, earthbounds are people that have died, but they haven't gone wherever.
They call them hungry ghosts, do they? Sometimes.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
this one looked like Mother Mary.
Did it?
Yes.
Wow.
She just floated right by my window. I was so excited because in school they were telling us about the children at Lourdes and how they had were blessed to see Mother Mary.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't wait to get back to school to tell them I had seen Mother Mary too.
Oh, great. So
Yeah.
that wasn't an earthbound spirit. That was something else.
No, I think she was, it turned out she was earthbound spirit.
She was.
She floated right past. She had the long garb on. She had the whole thing. I woke up, I told my mother, I was excited.
Great.
I was
Wow.
going to tell the kids, hey, I saw Mother Mary. So my mother, when she woke up, I told her, Mom, guess what? Mother Mary floated by. She said, you didn't see Mother Mary. I said, yes, I did.
Oh.
She floated right by me. And my mother said, no, that's the woman that lives in the basement.
Oh.
I'm telling you.
That was the earthbound spirit.
Yeah.
The ghost in the basement.
The ghost in the basement. It was a downer.
Oh, too bad it couldn't have been Mother Mary.
I know. So come on, tell us we kind of opened it up.
Okay.
We want to know about your life and
Oh, okay. This is a quote from me.
No,
No.
this is a quote from the realm. There is a presence of many. Look beyond your existence of this earth, which you have left, to see and be accepting of self and the others. All are one.
Right. That is consciousness. What this thing that we have, this brain, is just the hardware. It's just the receiver. It's just the radio. The signal is coming from someplace else. If you open up the radio, you're not going to find the Beatles playing music in there, right? It's just the hardware. You open up the brain, you're not going to find consciousness in there. That's what they call the hard questions of science. How does this thing that we have, this instrument, create this experience of incarnation? That's the big key. And if you're looking at it only mechanistically, you think it's impossible. The radio has to have the musicians in there. So we need to realize that we are infinite everywhere at once, and they're just localized through this receiver. But if the radio breaks, it doesn't mean the signal has stopped, right? Doesn't mean the announcer is keeled over in the station. It's like, no, the signal's always inputting us, and it depends on the frequency. This woman has an incredible ability to tap into frequencies that most people aren't aware of. Right, Greta?
That is
I
true.
think so.
She thinks so. She has families on other dimensions. How do you think so? You know so. She's married to an Arcturian. I mean, come on, Greta.
Reptilian.
Oh, reptilian. Sorry, I don't like to mix them up. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
Okay, where were we? Another question. So does that make of course it makes sense to you and you that we're not the body. We have a body and they're great and they're great instruments, but we are not the body. But most of the world, maybe particularly in LA, they identify with the material existence. And so when we realize that we're not our material, that we're here to use that and experience the 3D world, because it's a great experience being in form, being in the animal. We're in these animals, I said in the last lecture. These are animals, all of us, not just you guys. Me too. We're in the animal bodies. And you have to feed the animal. It's like your child, these bodies. You have to nurture it. You have to, take care of it. One thing that came, or two things that came to me, this philosophy of living. Sleep when you're tired and eat when you're hungry. If you do that, you're going to be really good. But then something just came to me later after that. I thought about that. Is that all there is? The idea is go to sleep before you're tired and get up from the table while you're still a little hungry, that actually regenerates the
Mm.
chi even more. And that's hard to do because I just go until I just pass out, and eat as much as I can until I'm really full. But you gain much more vitality if you
Mhm.
get up. This is what Michio Kushi, the founder of macrobiotics, would say: get up from the table when you're just a little bit hungry because your digestion keeps going, and reserve that energy so you're not exhausted at the end of the day, so you could go to sleep and have energy in the morning. So don't exhaust yourself during the day.
Okay.
And then that's the kind of level of Taoist philosophy. I just discovered that. I don't know. I just eat as much as I can and sleep when I'm totally exhausted. But that wasn't working in the way that, you know. Some people don't even sleep when they're tired. And they don't even eat. They eat when they're not hungry. That's the other level. Most people eat because it's time to eat. Most people don't even sleep. Their body's telling them, we got to get to sleep, guys. The animal is tired. And, most people override that because I mean, sometimes we do. You got work to do, you got calls to make, you got things to do. But the animal doesn't like that. And then the next day, the animal will be very angry because it's tired, it's not able to function. So you're not as clear. I do my best work, my writing, right there in that book, when I get up in the morning, and even if I am a little tired,
Mm.
the ideas are fresher, and the consciousness, the collective consciousness of the field, isn't as intrusive, like at 7 or 8 in the morning. Once it gets to be 9, 10, you start to pick up these things, and the writing, for me, this is just my experience, doesn't seem as clear. So I love, well, even though it's hard sometimes, just get up. Say don't turn on your computer right away, but if you don't go to your emails, go right to the project you're working on, and then you get new. At least that's my process. Everyone has their own process. I'm not telling people what to do, but everyone has their own process, and that's what works for me. That's how I was able to write Making Contact.
That's probably why I haven't written the book yet.
Because why?
Because I'm not doing what you're telling me to do.
Well, what do you do instead?
Well, let's see. I know I eat,
Okay,
and
do
let's see.
you
I
eat
know I
when you're
sleep.
not hungry?
You know what? I don't think
Out of
so.
habit. Most people eat out of habit or emotional stress. And that's, because when you were crying as a baby, your mother give you the bottle, and then you make this psychological association. Oh,
That's
yeah, I'm
true.
sad.
That's true.
I'm
That's
supposed
true.
to have food. But we have to overcome those addictions to habits and see, okay, I'm not going to eat just because I'm a little upset or sad or whatever. I'm going to only eat when my animal tells me it's hungry to feed. It's like that. So
Okay.
there's help, there's hope and
There's
possibility.
hope.
No, no, you don't have to.
And
I know you're good. You're
good.
looking great. Okay. I know.
He's strong.
Yeah, Kathy is.
Strong. I'm
All right.
strong.
I know
But
you are.
looking back at the quote, I mean, looking beyond your existence. How have you done that? How have you looked beyond your own
That's a
existence
really good question. And
of this earth?
I know of this earth. And
Yeah.
I was really hyperactive as a child. And they put me to bed, and like if I was born later, they would have given me those drugs to calm me down and stuff like that. So I was really happy and active. And when you're like 1 or 2 years old, you're supposed to go to sleep before it's dark out. I can never do that, but
Oh, Alan, we have the same
I
childhood.
know we do. We're practically twins,
I
Kathy.
know, I know.
She read my book and said everything in that happened to her. But so I go to bed, and it was light outside. I don't know why people would put a baby to bed while it's still light. So you know what I would do? I just closed my eyes, and I realized there was this world inside the inner part inside. There was just as, and I realized there was just as infinite a world inside me as there was outside me. I don't know how I could have known that or explained that, but did you realize that too? Are
Yes.
you sure we're not the same person?
Think you in my house, Alan. I really do. I mean,
Did
it,
you?
we always sit on the same panel.
I
What are you talking
know
about?
we're about the same biological animal time, right? So anyway, so what I would do instead is just toss and turn for like hours, and I realized if I just close my eyes and focus on third eye, I didn't know what that was, but close your eyes and you look forward with your eyes closed. I start to see this like white light thing. It was, I guess it was a meditation, but it just kind of like, and it would kind of travel interior. So, what was the question again? That was the answer.
Look beyond your existence. But you know what? I can remember being little. I say, Grandma, somebody's following me.
Was that
And
me? No,
no, it
okay.
wasn't you, but she would say, it's just your guardian angel.
Was
But I
me.
mean, we're talking about, these experiences, um, looking beyond your existence, the presence of many. I didn't realize that there was a real presence. As a child,
Right.
you're open to experiencing and seeing things. And
Mm,
it was always shut down, shut it
mm,
down.
right. Because
Like
they,
what's wrong with her? What's wrong? But it made me go inside of myself like you did, like
right.
stay in my room, Clody Doe, and just don't say
Clody
anything.
Doe.
You close the door.
Okay, but
Just
the
don't.
Clody Doe, I
My
like that
grandfather said,
slang.
Clody Doe. Okay.
That's great. I'm going
So
to quote
it's
you.
it's like that's what you do. You go inside
Hmm.
because you don't want people to think you're cuckoo for cocoa puffs. And even when you turn the corner and you see an earthbound
Right.
topping his hat to you, or you see it turning, oh my God, there's a bald-headed little person there, and he's
Right.
not from this planet. And I mean, it's like, who do you call? Ghostbusters? Who do you tell?
That's right.
And
No,
and
I
I met
wouldn't.
Greta,
I wouldn't
and
tell anybody.
you want
see,
Greta was your savior.
yes, she
She
was.
turned it around.
She was.
How did you know what was your oh wait, I don't want to turn the tables on you, but tell me
That's
what
all right.
how did you discover you had because you have more of an infinite world than most people, Greta. You know that.
Yeah, I
You
think
traveled
so.
further
I
than
I think so.
how did you discover it?
I don't know. Other than the fact that my mother used to always tell me, "Don't tell anybody."
See,
Uh,
She used to tell me, "Don't
see,
tell anybody. They're gonna think you're crazy.
see.
Don't
mm,
tell them those things." And
mm,
then, but I used to hear the voices. I used to run up and down my great grandfather's house.
mhm.
I used to stay at the bottom, and I knew I had to get up to the second floor. So then I said, "Let me get up there before I hear it." But I could never make it. They would always tell me they said, "Greta, Greta."
Who was calling you?
Who knew, Al?
I don't. Well,
I could hear that, but they're the realm of beings that I
the
have now.
realm of beings. Did you talk about the realm of beings? Do they know about
No,
the realm of
we
beings?
didn't talk about the
Yeah,
realm of beings.
it's over, so your face isn't off.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
But
Alan.
tell us about the realm because that is right. Isn't the realm of beings key to Greta's inner world? But I don't think that many people have heard about the realm of beings. What what is it and who are they? And
Who are they?
why are they here?
They're ethereal beings,
Right,
Alan.
ethereal beings.
Right. They have no bodies
Okay.
except when they want to create. Like when they want to clap, they'll create hands
Mm.
and do like this.
And what is the purpose of them? Why are they here? What do they want with us?
Well, you know what I realized, Alan, is that when people channel,
Yeah.
everybody's channeling for a reason.
Mm. Okay.
Everybody's channeling for a reason. So it's like certain channelers focus on the law of attraction.
Hmm.
Certain individuals focus on the cosmos.
Yes.
You
Yes.
see?
Yes.
So everybody's got a piece of the pie. Now, what I'm looking for is I want to see the people that channel that are in China, Korea. I
Hmm.
want to expand and see who else is
Mm.
having this similar
Well,
experience. You
we're
see,
giving permission by this podcast and everything we're doing here at this
Mhm.
expo, giving permission for other people to explore that parts of consciousness. And have you heard of the telepathy tapes? Have you heard of the telepathy?
no, tell us about that.
Telepathy tapes is this woman, Diana Powell, was working with autistic children,
Mm.
and she was a neurologist, psychiatrist. She realized they're actually telepathic. They can read their parents' thoughts, and they are non-speaking. The more telepathic the ones are the ones that don't speak at all.
Exactly. We
They
have
oh,
experience,
you
and we
have.
we worked with a child that had autism, and I spoke to her higher self, got
Mm,
permission, and all of a sudden I'm having this. I said, "Well, how old is she? 20?"
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like you're having this conversation, and she goes, "Well, where is this?" One of the persons used to work with her made a transition, and she's going, "Where is so and so? I haven't seen her lately."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like going, "Wait a minute, this child is nonverbal.
Right.
Okay, she's okay. I'm facilitating, and I'm being trained." So it was like, oh my gosh. And so I understand everything that you're talking
Well, it's
about.
not me. It's a telepathy tape. So Diana Powell hooked up with this filmmaker, and there's a whole series on Spotify. Now, the most listened to Spotify series, more than Joe Rogan, which I guess is a good thing.
Uh,
And no, he's okay. He actually says some good things
Yes,
sometimes.
yes.
But these children are non-speaking, and the more, I guess, non-speaking autistic they are, the more telepathic they actually are too, because they're not accessing that left brain awareness, And the most dramatic moment in the early part of the telepathy tapes is this woman thought her child was just autistic. He would just run around, do crazy things. She thought there was no one in there. And when he learned to type on these tablets, he said, "I'm in here." That was the first thing he wrote on these tablets. He goes,
Well, it's like I think what I'd like to put my spin on that,
yeah.
and that is that um, we can they're compensating.
Mm-hmm.
They're compensating. See, people come to me and sometimes they say, "I have gifts."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I tell me, you don't have gifts. I said, a gift is something that somebody gave you that you didn't have.
That's good.
I said, but we all have these gifts. Every last human being that you see on this earth has what you call gifts. But
Yeah.
what we call them is abilities.
That's good. That's a
It's
much
abilities. Do you
better
see?
way of putting it.
So what I'd like to say about those children
Yes.
is if they can't, they know that they can't speak
Mm-hmm.
through their mouths because they can't formulate the words and all
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So then the thing is that they compensate. And so what do? Is that they look at activating their tele.
Yeah, they look at because our right brain is so overrode by reading and writing
It's mine.
and these things that we're taught in school by the time we're 5 years old, we're taught and we think that's the world is
Absolutely.
numbers and letters, and you create an overlay of reality, what they call a semantic reality. So when you look at a tree, you're calling that a tree and you say, "Oh, I know what that is. It's a tree." But if you didn't call it a tree, if you stood in front of this being like the shamans would do, they would get information. That tree, that being would talk to them in this feeling sense. So our left brain makes such a loud noise that we don't have access to those worlds. But in these autistic kids, they're not trained that way. So they have much more awareness of their infinite nature. And on one of the episodes, they talk about how all these, so not all of them, but some of these telepathic autistic children are all connected to each other telepathically. And they all go to a place called the Hill, where they sit in this telepathic space and they converse with each other on the hill. I mean, it's so far out. It is a revolution in consciousness, these tapes, this series. So this is our potential, of course. We've just been so brainwashed and
Absolutely.
conditioned, except you and
Absolutely.
your access to those realms. So you
Well,
somehow,
you too.
and
You
me
have,
too, a
and
little bit.
Kathy.
And Kathy, of course. You too, Kathy.
oh,
Kathy,
okay. Thank you
don't
so
want to
very
lose
much.
you. Well, that's why you're
Thank you
here
so.
on this
Yeah, I
channel.
know. And on that note, we're going to take
Oh, wait,
a break.
I was just starting to getting on a roll. No, it's okay. No, it's
So
okay.
you can roll on as
Okay.
soon as we
Oh,
finish this break.
all right, sure.
welcome back. It's Kathy Lee, Alive and Live in Color, coming to you from LA. And I'm here with Alan Steinfeld and Greta Chamberlain.
You're the real Kathy Lee, aren't you?
I am not the imposter.
Okay, good. You are the real Kathy Lee.
I am definitely here. So we were having a very lively discussion. Hope everyone's enjoying it. I know that I am. And Alan is my twin.
Oh,
So we
thank
already
you,
know that. Greta is my big sis. So we're going to continue, Alan. Were you on the roll?
I was getting on a roll, but now okay, you took a break in my roll. But what ask me? What else do you want to know, Greg?
I wanted to tell about my daughter.
Yes.
Yes, because it fits with what you were saying about the autistic children.
Yes.
She was 4. And I was searching for a book in this place, spiritual place that they sold books and crystals and all that. And I always told her, don't touch anything because I didn't want to have to pay for it.
Right.
You know, so she came up to me, she tugged at me and she said, Mommy. I said, what kind? She said, I've got to go. This fits with what you were talking about before we went on the break. I've got to go and pray for that rock.
Your daughter said that to you?
Yes, it was a big chunk, about so big.
Wow.
And it was sitting in the store in a corner on the floor. And so I said, of course, I wasn't going to tell her, don't go pray for it. Right. She said it needed prayer. I said, okay, we'll go on. So she went down there, knelt in front of the rock. Okay. Folded her made her little prayer hands and sat there for a good 10 minutes. Because I sat next to her because I said, I don't want people to think this is really strange. You know, your kid is sitting in front of a rock, praying, So I sat there. She got up. She walked back up. She says, it's all right now. I said, it is? She says, yeah, Mommy, it's okay. Here's this 4-year-old kid telling me she wants to pray for a rock. I said, okay. So I said, you know what? If she prayed for this rock, this is a rock I need to have.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
Maybe that's what she prayed for, getting the rock.
Yeah. No, I know you. I know.
No, but anyway, so you took the rock. You got the rock. You bought the rock.
They wouldn't let me.
They wouldn't let you buy.
They wouldn't sell the rock. I went and I said, would you sell that? She said, oh, no, we don't sell that.
What was wrong with the rock that it needed prayer?
It was overloaded because they told me, they said, we don't sell that rock. That rock picks up all of the negative energy in the store and takes care of it. So when you say about the autistic children doing the communication, there was a communication between that rock and my child.
Wow. And she was sensitive. Did she go on to develop that sensitivity?
Somewhat.
Don't you think we lose that though?
No, you don't have to. Greta didn't lose it.
Yeah, I know, but a lot of people. Well, I guess that's my question. You like. I know I was shut down. I was like,
that's true.
Don't say that. No, don't do that. My parents are like, we have 4 normal kids, and it's like, what's wrong with this one? And it's even today, if people are acting normal nowadays, they're probably just not well. That's how people see things, And so, I'm wondering, piggybacking on what you're talking about with your daughter, why do we shut down children in that way? If autistic kids can communicate telepathically, I mean, we do the same thing also to me in our dream state.
We're shut down because the society, which is materialistic, needs to function, needs to get people under their control to be mechanical and do the job and make money and drive that industry, because that's what our culture, society is made on, money and materiality. So we're not allowed to. You can't step out of that box or else you shake up the whole system, which is...
Well, there's a lot of fear around that. Fear.
People want to live in a predictable world, but the more exciting thing is an unpredictable world. because anything is possible. If you live in a predictable world, then it's the same thing 9 to 5 every day. How awful is that?
There's songs about that too.
Which song? Oh, nine
Living
to
9 to 5. And
exactly.
the other one, I don't know who the other one. They had the other
So,
title to that
but
song
we're
you just spoke.
changing things. We are changing things because we're artists of creation. The artist is what they call the vehicle of the long revolution.
Hmm.
So the artist inputs new possibilities into the world. Terence McKenna said, "Do you know who he is?
No, but tell us.
He was kind of a psychedelic sort of guy. I mean, he looked through his spirituality through psychedelics. I don't think you need that,
Oh,
but
what's a
Terence
psychedelic?
obviously
Like a drug?
like a drug.
Oh,
I don't think you need. Don't go there,
oh
Kathy.
no, no,
No,
no.
no, it's okay.
No, no,
You're
no.
already there. But some people need it. But he said some good things. He says the artist is here to find the way into the unknown, and if the artist can't find the way cannot be found. And the artists are those that tap into this flow of consciousness without drugs, just because the creativity is flowing through them. Bob Dylan said, I don't write the songs, I write them down because that creative force is always flowing through this infinite mind. Our minds are infinite. This is what
Absolutely.
this is what I teach in remote viewing. I do a remote viewing course like every 3 months, and people don't understand how is it possible that your local mind that's right here, like the radio,
Hmm.
is able to receive a non-local thought or project itself somewhere. But everyone does it in the class. Everyone does these miracles that go against this mechanistic society that says, no, you're just your body. Well, we're proving it. And the Stanford Research Institute that started the remote viewing protocols did this in the 70s. Of course, it's been around for mystics for centuries, for
Right, right,
forever. So
right.
it's not new, but like with these autistic children, we are discovering each of us are infinite. That's the miracle here, Greta, Kathy.
What happens when everyone is on the same wavelength? What kind of world do you earthly existence do you think
When we
we'll
are on this higher wavelength together,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
when there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
more war, when there's no more suffering, no more starvation, everyone's living in abundance because we have free energy, like the ETs who are these crap, they're not filling up their gas tank to get here, these ETs, you know this. So when we have that technology and we're all on this beautiful wavelength of love, then people are creators. Then we're here to emulate creation. We're
Mm.
here. That's like William Blake said the imagination is the true essence of the human being. We're here to activate and give more back. We're here to make known the unknown, which is what my teacher said, my
Mhm.
channeling teacher, Rampa said. We're here for one reason. You can have a family, you can have relations, you can do all that, and that's all great, and you want to do that. But the big thing is to bring in more unknown, give more creativity back to this world of experience. And because with your creativity, other people are having more experiences as well. You hear a song, a new song, and suddenly, oh my God, you feel something. Sometimes you feel
Mhm.
something
Yeah,
new.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you see a
yeah.
new picture, a new art piece. It's like, wow. And so, art, creativity, expression, however it is, maybe it's yours through channeling and all that might be your creative expression. You're giving more to the world that's beyond the limited personality. So, to answer your question, when we're all on that level, we have an incredible creative world where that's the currency of exchange, not the material, world that puts us in the box and says you have to be like everybody else. We're here not to be like everyone else because if you like everyone else, you don't have that creative aspect. We're here to be different than everyone
Mm.
else because we're all part of this big organism. Every cell in your body is doing a different job. It doesn't do
Absolutely.
so. We're all cells. It says in my book that you want to read that last chapter there with Bruce Lipton. I think you'll love this book because this is
I read
you.
the book
I know
twice.
you read the book, but I want everyone to hear this. This is in the epilogue because I did an interview with Bruce Lipton, and he said to me something that just stuck in this interview that I had to put in this epilogue. And you want us to say anywhere over here,
Okay.
sorry.
Next level of evolution for us is to recognize that we are all cells in a larger community coming together to share awareness in order to create one living organism that would be called humanity.
That's right. Humanity. That's all of
We
us.
are not humans until we create humanity.
That's such an important. I love that line. We are not humans until we create humanity. Until we know we're all cells. Each one of us is a cell in a greater body of humanity. And if we think we're separate, we're not contributing to the greater
And
being.
we have to move towards oneness.
Exactly. So he says,
This is when we all recognize that we're all cells in the same living organism and work in a coherent fashion, then humanity is complete.
right.
When humanity is complete, the earth as an organism completes its evolution.
Because we're the receptor sites of the earth. We're bringing in new information. The earth is great and it's supporting us, but we're extensions of the earth. So
True that. It becomes a living, breathing, pulsing Gaia. When we come together in a unity with a voice that will allow us to speak as one, this will allow us to speak with other ones, which is part of the quote.
which is part of the other civilization. They're not really going to come forward until we have a coherent resonance among the body of humanity. Because they're looking to go to the next level of superorganisms. So humanity is a superorganism, but when we hook up with these other galactic civilizations and speak as a one voice with their one voice, we form the next level of super beingness with all these galaxies, and we become part of us. They become part of us. We become part of them. We form this super being.
It's interesting because
It's more
from
than
my
interesting.
perspective, I already see myself as already being
Yeah, well,
one with all
you're
of that.
already part of humanity.
Oh,
Thank
thank you,
you.
honey. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thank you.
No, you
Well,
are.
talk about this interdimensional being thing that you're going to do tonight with
Well,
Greta
yeah.
and the group.
Well, so many people are tuning into these interdimensional realities. And
Mhm.
you've been way ahead of the game here. So more like some of these young, it's all women for some reason.
Yeah, what the hell? Because you're leading it,
I'm
so
leading
I
it,
can't ask why you all the
I,
women around
I
you.
do
Here we
like
go.
women. I don't, but no, I think women are more evolved, mostly spiritually. I mean, there's some men here. Look at that. It's not good, but because they haven't been have to fit so much into the mold. Maybe some women do, but I think there's more stress, at least put on men to do what's expected. And I think women are just generally more spiritually evolved, I think, because they're more in touch with, I think their body is more connected to nature, their cycles. And so their
Oh,
cycles
that,
put them
yeah.
more in touch with the earth and the moon. And I think that taps them into a kind of spiritual.
Is
But
that
you
why
know
they
now
burned witches?
males go on cycles as well
I know, but it's
around.
more apparent in women if you haven't noticed. I'm sure you have. But, no, but that's just my theory. I don't know, but I think women are more awake in general,
Well,
more
Eve was.
no, but they're more intuitive. It's just nature.
I agree. No, I'm
And
not arguing with
and the
you.
men are catching up. So I think that so the interdimensional panel that we're going to be on is about talking to everyone about what's possible, what the,
What is possible?
what
Anything is possible.
and how to talk to other beings like you do, the realm of beings, right?
The realm of beings and all the other beings that I have to deal with, Alan.
Right. Greta's had some incredible trauma and drama on those other levels. You were trapped there, I know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it wasn't pretty for a while,
No, it wasn't.
but you did it.
I did it.
You
I
did
did
it.
it.
That was
Yeah.
intense what you told me about getting
Yeah.
stuck
Yeah.
there in those realms.
They
And
took me. Yeah, they
I,
took me. Sometimes they grab hold. Once I was in this woman's body, working on, she had a virus
hmm
and I was working on the virus. When the virus first started,
hmm
COVID,
Yeah.
and then what people didn't know was that there was another attachment to
Oh,
that.
really? I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
yeah. It came from outside,
I saw it.
Wow.
outside of this universe. It was round
hmm
and it had a mouth and it had teeth like
Why?
a sturgeon,
Why was it?
sturgeon fish.
Why was it here?
It was here because they wanted to kill us.
Who they?
Ah,
Who that? As you would say.
that
Who's
is
that?
the 9%.
The 9% wants to kill the 91%.
The 9% is inside. The 9% of the universe
Mm,
does not want to accept unconditional love. And that is what, like I told the story about how I was told I had to go out and work with the other members of the universe. You know, I
Yes,
do
I
that,
do that.
right?
You do that.
So they sent me, meaning the three gods of this universe, sent me out there to say, "Go, you go on out there and you work with these individuals, right?"
Yes.
So I get out there. I'm by myself, but not literally by
Right.
myself. And then all of a sudden, I see like 100 to 500 battleships all around me now.
Wow.
Yeah, I told him, I said, are you kidding?
Mm.
You know, I'm speaking to them. You're talking about telepathically. I'm, you
Right.
know, I'm saying,
You
oh
were
no, no.
tuned in, weren't you?
Yeah, I was really
Were
tuned
you
in.
freaked out and tuned in?
No, I didn't get freaked out.
Okay. Okay.
I
Good.
can't get freaked out.
No, she
I know
Alan.
you need to stay.
Stay cool and calm.
That's why.
So I told him, I said, you are not coming here to hurt me. I said,
Thank you.
I'm not going to allow you to do that. So I sent them because I carry so much energy now, Alan, since the last time we talked.
I know.
Oh man. So I just put my hand out like this and I sent the energy and they all the ships and
Wow.
yeah.
That's
And then what I did was
They
I
went into
gave
warp
them
drive.
they went to warp drive backwards.
Exactly.
And then I just gave them a lot of um unconditional love.
Wait, were they delivering the virus here or something?
No, this
No.
is two different
Oh,
stories. I'm
okay.
sorry.
Okay.
I
No,
did
it's okay.
I
I thought
left
that.
you. I'm
No,
sorry.
no. What happened to the virus? How come you
The
didn't
virus?
stop that? Not that was your,
I,
responsibility.
he
But
grabbed me.
who did?
That virus.
The little
They
that little
grabbed you
thing, yeah,
and stopped you from.
from doing what I was doing. He wouldn't let me go. He
Mm.
grabbed me from behind. I
Oh.
told him, I said, leave me alone. I said, why are you holding me? You know what it said?
What?
It said, I like you.
But why does that 9% want to stop our evolution?
Now you're moving back to 9%
Oh,
now.
well, sure.
That's all right. We can go with that flow.
Okay. It's interdimensional. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Well, the 9% does not, they're in the universe and they are left in the universe. That sounds like it's a small number, but see, if you think of the universe, it's a big number. So they do not want Earth. Let's just talk about Earth. They do not want Earth to progress. They do not want the people to progress because it's to their advantage. Because Earth, and it can be kind of scary, but I don't want the audience to be afraid
They're
of
okay.
this. They're
I
okay.
did a little
Okay.
gauge check on that.
Okay.
They're okay.
Is that they siphon off the energy.
Right.
So they are when we're going through wars. At one time we had 35 little small wars going on simultaneously but we were all focused on the one in Ukraine, but there were 34 others taking place all
I
over.
know, it's awful.
Okay, so that is something that they want to support,
Right.
because if you have fear, if you have um
hatred, anger.
hatred or anger of something, that gives them energy.
I know they feed off that energy. These are the
Absolutely.
archonic energies.
There are
Absolutely.
people here
Right.
that work with that 9%.
They don't even know they're working on that.
I think they
You do. Maybe you're right, but it's not so small. Because you ever drop a little drop of ink in a gallon of water, it turns the whole thing a
Right.
different color. So
Right.
it's a
Absolutely.
drop. So how do we get through that? How do we get rid of it?
How do we get through that? How do we get rid of it?
Yes.
Is that each person has to begin to love themselves.
Yeah.
Because see, you cannot influence, well, you know that. You can't influence the other person. You can, let me take the word influence out and say, you cannot create another person's reality.
Right.
That person is creating his or her own reality. Even a cockroach is creating his or her own reality. A butterfly, a tree, everything is creating its own reality. But if we as humans can begin to go internal, we're so focused external.
Exactly.
You know, we're so focused on that person hurt me, or this person did this,
Right.
or that person stole my money. We're so focused outside that we don't what the realm wants people to do is turn around and send that love
Mhm.
energy inside of you, because it's like, I forgot the adage, but it's one at a time.
Mhm.
If each person would turn around and say, I love myself.
Mm.
It reverberates.
You
Yeah.
know who told me that? I just heard a channeling by this woman, Marilyn Govecki, and she channeled Zazar.
Oh yes, I saw her.
You should get her on the show.
Yes,
We
yes.
should be on the show together.
Yes, you should be.
Channel it for it.
Right. Well, are we
But what
doing
is
that
yours
later
telling you?
today? But Marilyn says, brings in the word magnificence. You have to
Mhm.
honor your own magnificence. And that's different than greatness. Greatness is kind of ego back. Magnificence, that's like a huge,
Divine.
and each of us are that, although we don't believe it.
No,
And it's
no.
like, saying I'm magnificent sounds very ego based. But if you let yourself say your magnificence, then like these other parts of you start to expand. And it's exactly what you're saying. It's a love
Yeah,
of the self. And we're taught not to love ourselves because that's
absolutely.
egotistical.
Absolutely. Well,
So,
some people have grown up in families where they've been taught not
yes.
to love
And
themselves.
sacrifice yourself. But
Right.
but you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you put it on someone else. So you have to
Absolutely.
love. I mean, it's a hard thing in our culture and probably a lot of cultures to love yourself. Look at your own magnificence. Appreciate the beauty and the intelligence and the power and the interest and the curiosity that you have. Appreciate that. I mean, everyone can do that. And then we change the world.
But you know what
That's
people have said to me
what?
when I go out and I talk about loving themselves, or even just working with them
Yeah.
individually? I've heard people say, well, no, I don't. I'm not going to do that.
Why
That's
not?
being selfish.
It's not. It's being self-full. If you're not for yourself, who will be for you? That's a whole Kabbalistic thing. If you're not for yourself, who will be for you? If you're only for yourself, who will be for you? So it's a balance. It's
Mhm.
like it's not just about you, but how
Right.
do like enough self-love will allow you to love someone else. I'm learning that. Like how, appreciate
You have to
yourself.
practice it. And I've
Yes.
been practicing loving myself. And
Uh-huh.
people are telling me, what's different about
I
you?
know, there
You're really
is something
different.
different about
Oh, I'll talk to you about that later. But
No, there is. You
because I've been practicing loving myself.
right. And then what's not to love about it, no matter what
About me.
what you are, what shape, what age, what size, whatever,
Absolutely.
it's you. It's you inside that animal. It's just the animal. The essence of that animal is the love.
Absolutely.
It's
You know, I tell people that sometimes everybody's so concerned about finding somebody to love
want
outside of
somebody to love.
themselves.
Don't you want somebody to love? You need somebody to love. Anyway, but yes.
So I tell them, I said, the first thing you need to do, or suggestion,
Mhm.
because we can't tell people what they need to do, but it's like the effort that you put in trying to find somebody to love, turn that around and first
Mhm.
fall in love with yourself.
Right.
Well,
Right.
on that note,
Is that enough?
Alan,
Yes.
we're gonna wrap this up. But
Oh,
guess what?
don't leave me,
No,
Kathy.
no. We're gonna be like Oprah here. So you get a book, and you get a book. All of you get a book.
I'm gonna
That?
sign it to
Alan's gonna
each
sign this book
to
for you.
each person in here is going to get a signed copy, and everyone watching, maybe not. But you can order it on Amazon. Or will they get? No, Amazon. If you order on Amazon and call me and send me money, I'll sign a book for you. Making contact, because it's all about making contact with yourself first, like you've been saying, making contact with our fellow humans, and then once we have to make contact with those other beings.
Absolutely.
So it's all
Well, some people, we've already done that, Alan.
We
You got
have.
scooped up, buddy.
Thank you.
You got
Well,
scooped up.
we're all from
It's in
the
the
same
book.
planet
It's in-
there, Kathy.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
we grew up together.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
that's true.
just
Well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. We'll plant you now and dig you later.
plant you now and dig you. Is that how you sign off your show?
No, but what did one strawberry say to the other strawberry?
What did they say?
There have been this bed together, wouldn't be in this jam today.
Ah.
So we are done. That's a wrap. Cut.
Ah.
Once again, thanks for joining us at Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings on TransformationTalkRadio.com. As you have explored today's creation of reality experience with the realm and me, Greta, each of you is being supported by us in further developing the understanding that you are not just an individual existing in linear time and space, but a multi-dimensional force of infinite possibilities who is connected to all. So begin to create the realities you want. Join us every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time and 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Shifting Impressions at TransformationTalkRadio.com. So long until we create each other again next Friday.